Welcome back to AskAPop. Today we're talking about let's be frank. Okay, and I got to start off by saying that the stories that I'm going to tell were stories that were told to me, but they did come from multiple sources. So I'm pretty solid with them, and the reason for the hearsay will become pretty evident pretty quick. You see, my dad, or C3 as Mamaw Ruth always called him, was a really popular guy in high school, and he had just started his college career along with getting his new wife pregnant with me. And he was a really affable athlete. He could wrestle, he could run sweeps in football, he could catch, and he could even hit the curveballs. What he couldn't dodge were red light runners. So at 19 years old, they decided to give him the ultimate downgrade in legs when he went from 2 to 1. Needless to say, that devastated everybody, including all of his friends and family. And like I said, he was really popular, and most people really didn't know what to do, and say to Dad, except for one of his friends, his buddy Frank. And when he would come around, he did something absolutely crazy. He treated Dad exactly the way he treated him before the accident. And until my dad's dying day, Dad had always said that that was one of the best gifts that he had ever been given during that time of his life. And it meant so much to Dad that when my little brother was born, do I even need to mention what one of Craig's middle names was? This weekend, I was lucky enough to be breaking bread with a dear friend of mine, and we were chatting about different things. And Frank actually came up in the discussion, and I decided that it was something that I needed to bring up here and ask a pop, because that learning those lessons that Frank and Dad had taught me when I was very young in life taught me the way that I'm supposed to look at everyone, regardless of their station in life, regardless of how they get from point A to point B. It reminds me that you don't judge a book by its cover. You judge them just by who they are, and you always treat them just the same way. Oh, unless of course you're going to a diner in Israel, in which case you can just forget about asking for a bacon cheeseburger. Anyway, the Bible verses today are James chapter 2. It's not that long of a chapter. And as far as questions go, do you sometimes catch yourself judging a book by its cover? We all do. Can you give us some tips on how we can avoid it? God bless you. Have a great day.